Hello, welcome to my short amateurish video on Beowulf. Here you can expect a short introduction, the story of Beowulf, the origin and setting, the literary style used, historical value, and some general comments about Beowulf in this video. Beowulf, as you know, is the most famous and longest surviving poem in Old English. It is the first milestone in English literature, and it is quite surprising that how such a primitive society could produce such a perfect work of art like Beowulf. Beowulf was written in West Saxon dialect. Actually, the poem, the epic was developed orally and achieved its presence form during 8th century in Mercia or Northumberland. Though Beowulf was a poem of Old English period, the manuscripts was discovered around 18th century and it was later translated into modern English. Remember, this is the only surviving Anglo-Saxon epic composed for recitation probably in the 6th century by the pagan newcomers from the northeast, which was handed down to generations to the point it was disappeared, and later a monk transcribed it with some pious Christian doctrines. It has around 3,000 lines and it is divided into two equal parts. The epic Beowulf tells the story of a mighty warrior of the same name. He was of Swedish blood, and he has fought not only with men but also he has defied the greatest storms and grappled awful sea monsters. In the epic, he comes to help the venerable king Hrothgar when his kingdom was ravaged by a dreadful monster known as Gruntal. Beowulf defeats this monster. But after a terrible battle, though the monster is defeated and killed, his mother, who seems to be more fearful, comes and attacks Beowulf, and a harrowing fight follows in underwater. Eventually, Beowulf wins that war and helps the king. For the next 50 years, there was some peaceful rule, but later another monster attacks this kingdom, and during that fight, Beowulf dies. Let's look at the origin and setting of this poem. Actually, this poem is a Scandinavian saga. But unfortunately, it hasn't got any Scandinavian words or phrases. It is believed to be the surviving epic of a Teutonic people who are obviously the Scandinavians. Please note that it makes no reference to Britain. An early critic believes it to be a prehistoric folklore. Later, the story was Latinized, and as I told you, it was developed orally and achieved its present form during 8th century. Let's look at its literary style. Actually, its literary style is massive and sweeping, rather than subtle and varied. The poem is akin to the old sagas, and like them exceeds in broad effects and in impressive directness of speech. It is composed of half rhymes for remembrance, and which is divided by a silent pause, caesura. Obviously, the poem is alliterative. It is organized around stress, not syllable. What is the historical value of this poem? Actually, the picture of social life given us in Beowulf is essentially primitive. But obviously it speaks about their, what you may call, a masculine feudal society. Those people were primarily concerned with eating and drinking, and men are somber in nature, or few words, though they are brave and loyal. Women makes a very marginal presence, but they are dignified. Actually, you get a kind of a feudal masculine society who are concerned with life and death, war and peace, society and individual, and good and evil. Finally, it was Seamus Heaney who translated it into modern English, and J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings is inspired by Beowulf. According to Arthur Crompton Rickett, this poem is what Achilles is to Greeks, what Romulus to Romans, and Beowulf is to the English mean. Thank you.